this from the computer. I should probably do that. So, Onan talked about the convention this week. We have that, coming up in the beginning of 2022. You guys need to get on there. You need to try to register, and you need to come. One of the reasons that it's great to go to these is because you're able to be around other people that you may have not. Seen on a level togetherness. You don't you get to interact with people, you get to listen to a lot of training, things like that, that are, really important for your growth. We don't ask you to do that, every single, month or anything like that. It's just really once a year. And, in most organizations, even though we are independent, you're always going to have something to where, you're going to have at least a yearly thing that every, organization does. Regardless if it's, a W-2 position or this type of position when you're independent. And they do that for your guys' benefit, for your growth. Every year, it's great to reevaluate where you are, add in what you want to do, and, figure out ways to implement it by listening to others that are doing that. Okay. So that's always a great thing. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is obviously the work spots. So, I don't know, that's accessible from the www.fflinsurancetrust.com website. Work spots are designed for you guys to make sure that you guys have additional resources. Okay. It's not mandatory, but what is happening is that people are saving so much money on these leads that, it doesn't make sense not to get it. We all know that, this call is going to be on leads and also phone script. And leads are really the only way that you're going to be able to have, these clients to see. So, if there's a discount that's available and you get the perks of all the resources, I know they have different things in there, like, Office Max, I think they do some sort of discount. I heard Sean Mike talk about, people doing car rental, discounts. Obviously the lead banks is now in there. They have other leads in there that are wanting to kind of get in with this and give these discounts to you guys. So, if they're offering the discounts, take them, right? And then also just, that FFL discount card for the prescriptions. Okay. Now this is completely free to you guys. So it doesn't cost you guys anything to have access to this. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be giving your clients this information, because not only is it free for you to give them that information, but it's also free for them to get that. And then it's also giving them discounts, which can, give you more of a, referral aspect from them, or, they just, they're going to be your client because you're giving them all of these additional benefits that, they can rely on you as helping them in different areas, not only in your, the life insurance aspect or retirement planning, but also with, the prescriptions, which you're spending a daily, not daily, but monthly amount on. And if they can save, that's awesome. Okay. So, I know with this business, we tend to go over the same things over and over again, right? We're always talking about, leads, phone script, in-home, and it can be just kind of like, redundant, right? But, one of the things that we have to realize is that's just what the business is. It's work. We do this over and over again. If you don't do your work or your tasks, you will not achieve what you want to achieve. Okay. The best part is you get to decide when you want to do your work and your tasks. Okay. We do have that schedule that we usually follow with the dial days and, some of the things that Family First Life has directly, where you can get on the podcast on a certain day, do extra training, for instance, this call. I mean, these things, are accessible for you. But other than that, like you can do whatever you need to do with your running your appointments, you're independent, but you do have to complete these things and you do have to do the same thing over and over again. Okay. So, one of the other things is the newest aspect of the business is those phone sales. So, Zoom, you have, telesales, Zoom sales, and many of these agents are becoming successful with that. So, that can be something new that you can learn, but, you have to learn all of these skills, right? So today we're just going to go ahead and go over some of the things about the leads. I know a lot of people, have been asking about leads, and, Shorty, she does a great job of going over some of this with some of the newer agents. But, just to remind you guys, when you go into that CRM, and hopefully you guys do have those, work spots, and you can add in your discounts, but you're going to look at all of those leads that are available. Now, those are resources for you. I usually call those supplies. Okay. One of the reasons I call them supplies is because if I don't have any leads, and I learned this a long time ago, then I don't have any clients to go see. And then I can't generate any income at all for my family. So I'm very good at knowing that I need to have leads, right? And the same thing for you guys. I mean, you guys should need to know you can't have these unrealistic expectations that you're going to have this phenomenal week if you've decided not to get new leads or supplies, right? And we talk about this all the time. You go into a store, if it doesn't have, the supplies, then you're not going to get where you need to go, right? Because nobody's going to want to come into a store that doesn't have anything, and if you don't have anything and you're trying to sell or go through all these old leads and banging your head up against the wall, it's going to create frustration. So always place into your business account, your business budget. I talked with Shorty a little bit about this today. You have to have an organized business structure of how you're running your business. Each of us are independent business owners. The only thing that we're doing is we're able to use Family First Life's resources and each other to learn from and to grow from, which can get us at a higher level of wherever we want to go on our individual goals, right? So, it's not like you're starting a business from scratch. You have everything in here. It's a plug and play system. All you have to do is just follow what is, already there for you. But, going into the CRM, you're going to see so many different types of leads. Okay. And I just want to kind of go over with you, like those instant internet leads. A lot of people are asking, like, how old are those instant internet leads? Well, those are going to be anywhere from, I would say, 0 to 48 hours, right? That's how long those have probably been in the system. If you go into that CRM, you're going to see, like, if you go in there at, 6 a.m. in the morning, and then you go in at, 8 a.m., you're going to see all of those are gone already, and you're going to see new amount, right? That means that all of those that came in, and from those last 2 hours, those new ones came in. And that's basically how that generates, right? Then you got the new, instant internet leads, okay? Those are usually from like 0 to 30 days old. Okay, so you're going to have the new ones that are, 0 to 30 days. So that person could have requested information anywhere from, today all the way into, the end of the month, or however, 30 days. Obviously, you're going to see 1 month old leads in there. That's going to be somebody that requested the information a month ago. 3 months, it's going to be about 3 months that they've, requested the information. And then you got call-in leads in there. Those are, somebody that has called in and requested the information. So these people have went an extra step. So it's not like the ones that you're thinking on the instant internet leads or the internet in general. Like, people just click on something and they do what they need to do, and then they're like, oh, I never did that, right? These people actually are calling in and they're requesting the information to be having somebody else contact them. So, they definitely remember that a little bit more, because you got to, remember they're calling in. So they've made that extra step. Okay. And then, of course, there's the older mortgage leads, things like that in that CRM. All of the leads are great. Okay. It's just, how are you presenting yourself, and how are you talking to them when you're on the phone with them? When you get on the phones, how do you start your phone dial session? Are you like already, kind of like thinking about the leads and saying, oh, I only was able to get this lead or that lead, or I've talked to this person, or, where is your mindset when you're calling these leads? That's so important. One of the reasons is because whenever you're going on the phone, you want to kind of have I'm going to say a little bit of like a distant approach to it. Okay. And why I mean that is, like, you don't want to get your emotions and everything all wrapped up into these calls. One, these people can't see you. So like this here, like I can't see any of you guys, but you can see me, right? So it's the same thing, right? These people cannot see you at all. They have no idea. They don't know, they don't know about your life. They don't know anything. So when they're on the phone, they can treat you however they want to. And I always say that those people, that end up being, rude or whatever, like that's their phone edit. Like that's what they do, that's how they are on the phone. They don't have any regard. Why? Because they can't see you and they don't care, right? So, how you present yourself and your tone is always the most important, like, so for me, when you go on to, the website, you'll see there's different phone scripts. Okay. A phone script is really just that guide of telling you how you can make the phone calls in a way that is kind of structured, right? Now, does everybody constantly just read the phone script like this? No, you're going to kind of adjust it to where you feel comfortable, but you're going to use that same format because why? Because these things work. Like a phone script, most of these phone scripts have been around for years, okay? Like even before Family First Life, like people have been using these phone scripts. All they do is just add in extra things that, can gain attention and you don't want to sound like a telemarketer, okay? So some of the keywords that I always use is I'm calling in regards or in a request you used or, things like that present it to them like, oh, and it's triggering their mind like, oh, okay, I did do that. I did request that information. Oh, I remember that. And once you have them remembering, then they're going to stay on the phone a little bit longer because the fact that they know that they had requested this information. So they want to hear what you have to say. Now, will some of them just, be nasty and hang up on you? Of course, that happens with whatever lead type it is. Okay. All we're trying to do is get this information out to those families that need the information, one, and all of them I feel need it, but that, are allowing us to do our job, which is getting out this information. So, you'll just have to kind of learn how to do that as you progress. I'm sure all of you guys have been on the phones. This is one of the things you cannot eliminate from this job. And it seems like everybody always complains they hate to be on the phones. Well, they enjoy the money they make from selling the insurance, but they don't like to do this part, right? Like for instance, my son, he used to be an agent and I'm like, honey, you need to get back on and do this. He says, Mom, I don't like making phone calls. I'm like, okay, well, you have to make phone calls. There's nothing around it, but he refuses to do it because he doesn't like to make phone calls. So that's his problem. That's something he has to overcome, but it's also his pocket that isn't growing because he refuses to do something that we all know we have to do, right? And he doesn't want to learn and he doesn't want to get better at it, right? And that's what happens when you're young. But for us, this is what we've chose. So we have to just kind of bear with that. Okay. So, what I would suggest is that all of you guys take the time to, kind of do your call dial logs. Okay. So with that there's a log that is on the website as well. And you can print that out every single time that you're doing your dial session. So you can really keep track of how many dials you're making, right? When you do that, you can kind of evaluate and see how your phone script is really going or where you need to, I would say, improve, right? If you're seeing that you're making, 70 calls and you've had, 15 people pick up and you've only booked 3, there's something in there that you guys know that might need to change, right? Whether it's the way you're presenting yourself, whether it's your tone, whether it's you getting emotional on it. One of the things that I do when I'm on these phone dial sessions is I have given myself a different name when I'm doing these calls. One of the reasons I do that is because I'm distancing myself from any questions that they have that they can ask me that relates to, buying the insurance, right? And why do I do that? Well, because I want to just be an appointment setter. I want to make sure that I'm just setting an appointment, that I'm not going through and selling on the phone. Okay. That even if you're going to start doing the telesales and for me, like since I'm giving, my different name, I would just set up a time and, call them right back or whatever, say somebody else is calling them. And if they say anything about my voice, I don't know, it's my cousin. I really don't care. But, just doing that and putting yourself into that mindset of, just removing yourself can sometimes help too, because now when they're asking questions of how much does this cost, or, you know, things like that, you can just say, I don't do that. I always tell them, I don't do that part. All I do is set up this whenever we get this information back. My job's really simple, just give us 10 to 15 minutes. You can either set it up on the phone if you're doing telesales, a Zoom, or in person. Let them know that somebody's going to go over all that information, and your job is simply just to handle it. Okay. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, then whenever you're doing your dials, make yourself like an appointment setter and in a mindset. And when somebody's asking you those questions, simply just tell them, I can't go over that with you right now, but I would love to do that for you. I can't answer that. We can set up a time. Does this work, that work, and just let them know that your job right now is just really to go through the phone part for them. Okay. So, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I'm going to keep this kind of short. I hope that helped a little bit, but I want to know if anybody has any kind of questions or any resources or anything that you think that, I can help you with, or that you need to help get yourself to where you're anticipating going this week, because it is Thursday. So that means that this is the beginning of Family First Life's week. So, we're all at zero today. So we all have a chance to do whatever we need to do to make sure that we get to that point of our, increasing our income, because I'm at zero right now, so I have no income, and you're at zero and you have no income. So we all can grow this week together. And that's all based on what we're going to do for our activity, our work, and our tasks. Okay. But I do want to see, does anybody have any questions or anything for me today?
Hey, Stephanie, this is Jared.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I was wondering what your process is in resolving each lead. Say you don't get someone on the phone, this particular lead, each dial day, you finally get them on the phone, just something keeps happening where you're not able to reach them. Like, what's your process in resolving leads that are like that?
So, for me, I've always been big on door knocking them. So, what I would do first is I will continually call them. I don't leave voice messages typically. I know some people do, but my next step is really to send out a text message to them, right? I'm sending them out a text message. I'm taking a picture of the lead, and I'm saying, I've been trying to reach you in regards to this. Sometimes when they see that, sometimes they'll acknowledge a picture of whatever it is, because it's their information. So we do have those text messages that we simply sent out. If they're still not responding to me, I put them in my door knock pile and I stop by. And then that's my last attempt, is if I door knock and they answer the phone and they tell me they're not interested, or they give me a hard time, then I'm done with that lead, right? Because I've literally tried to resolve it the best I could. I've called them 100 times. I've sent them out a message. I even went and stopped at their house. And we all know that that's not, that's actually, like, I look at a door knock as a courtesy for these people, because we're going an extra step because we haven't been able to get a hold of them. So, I don't look at like I'm, being, imposing on them because I'm knocking on their door. I'm doing them a courtesy. Look at, now they have me right at the door, making sure that they don't have, any issues, and that they have their information. So that's the process I do. I hope that helps a little bit.
So how do the door knocks work whenever you do that, Stephanie? Do you find that they're receptive to that, or do you find that you make you're able to help them that day, or do you try to set an appointment?
It really depends. I mean, like I said, whether they're receptive or they're not, that's totally up to them. My thing is, I don't feel bad knocking at their door at all. I'm just simply doing my job, and I'm going that extra step. So what happens at that time is I will always take, it looks like, but I'll always take either the lead, or if, some people don't print out their leads, they have it on their iPad, I'll put that on there. the lead, and then I'll just simply go to the door and I'll always say, hi, Mrs. Smith, my name's Stephanie. I was in the area today. My company actually sent me out because we've been trying to get a hold of you, Mrs. Smith, in regards to, you put in this request for, mortgage insurance, you put in this request for life insurance, you put in this request for final expense. Like I said, I'm in the area. They wanted me to check on you, see if you wanted to go over this information. It just takes me about 10 to 15 minutes. Mrs. Smith, do you have some time to do that now? And, Mrs. Smith will say yes or no. And if Mrs. Smith says yes, I say, okay, just give me a second. Let me go get my stuff from the car. And I'll go ahead and I will, then I'll go ahead and I'll, go over this with you. And like I said, it won't take me very long. If Mrs. Smith tells me that she doesn't have time right now, I say, okay, I'm actually going to be back in the area this upcoming, whatever day I'm going to be back in the area. Would you be around this time? Because also what I take is my phone with me when I go to the door. And if you have those sticky notes, you want to take those as well. Those were, I haven't been on there in a while to see if they're still there, but those were on the Family First Life, website where they have their supplies for their apparel and stuff. But these sticky notes are just like a delivery notice. Like you're going to want to, I take my phone, I take the lead, I take those sticky notes. Okay. And then that's when, if, like I said, if she's, then nobody answers, you put the sticky note on the door and give them that stuff. But, and then I just go up to the house after I get to my car, grab my stuff, and I just treat it like I have an appointment. So when I go in to see Mrs. Smith, because she said she had the time right now, I'm just going to go ahead and just get into everything we're doing and go over everything with her. But like I said, if she doesn't, have the time, I'm going to set up a time with her on my phone and, look at my schedule so I can see when I can place her in there. Does that make sense?
Yes, and thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Does anybody else have any questions?
Hey, so my Zoom froze up. That's why I had to reconnect. But thank you for your advice on that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. I wasn't sure, but people have issues with some phones sometimes, so it's okay. All right. Well, so, I hope that everybody hits their goals this week. I just really, really encourage you guys to just look at this like it's basically the same thing over and over again. What are you going to do a little different this week that you didn't do next week? Are you going to make more phone calls? Are you going to use the phone tracker? Are you going to see where you're having, a hard time and reach out to somebody and see if they can help, you overcome that so that you can get to the next step in your business? Just look at this like we're all here to grow, and so, don't be afraid to reach out and see if somebody can, assist you so that you can increase yourself with where you want to go. Okay.
Thank you so much, Stephanie.
All right. Well, you guys
Thank you.
Yes, you guys take care. And if you have any questions, obviously, just reach out to me. Okay.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good day.
You as well. Hey, Pam.
Bye.
Thank you. Hi, Shirley.
Bye.